Welcome to the FitBiz Accelerator, your ultimate guide to launching, growing, and scaling a thriving online fitness business. I'm your host, Tobias Young, and whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, this podcast is packed with actionable tips, real-world strategies, and the insights you need to crush your business goals and build the business of your dreams. Now that you're here, let's dive in. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the FitBiz Accelerator Podcast. This is the show where we help fitness coaches and entrepreneurs grow smarter, scale faster, and build a business that actually works for their life. And today, I've got an awesome guest on the show, Scott Proposki, and Scott has a really interesting background. He's a former National Geographic photographer who's worked major events, including the White House, and he went on to build an 8-figure business. He's also the author of the book Camera Focus, and one of the big things he helps people do is actually spot the hidden profits inside their business that most entrepreneurs completely overlook. And I love this conversation because so many coaches are chasing more leads, more followers, more content, more sales calls, but they're overlooking the money sitting right underneath their nose. So today we're going to talk about profits, focus, hidden opportunities, and how to stop building a busy business that doesn't actually pay you in the way that it should. Scott, welcome to the show, my man. Scott, for people who may not know you yet, give us the quick backstory, who you are, what you do, and how did your journey evolve from photography into building an 8-figure business?
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is kind of good because I feel like I'm at the gym with you right now. We're having a workout. So it's like these quick conversations in between. So I got my water here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get fit into business in my mind. So this is awesome. How'd I get there, right? What a crazy story. I mean, National Geographic, White House, Google, Microsoft. Oh my gosh, the list goes on. Honestly, it was complete chaos. And if I would have said, this is my plan, I'm going to go to National Geo, nobody would have believed me, including myself. It wasn't until one day I woke up when I was doing crazy amount of business that I said, what is going on? Because when you're in it, you're just in it. You're just in it. And if I could talk to somebody like me or you when I was that age, I would do anything to have that happen. Because right now we live in a world of just so much information. Information is everywhere. But what we're lacking is trust of experience of somebody that's already been there before. And that's going to be the new economy. It's going to be people that have lived it before.
I love it. Yes. Trust. They say that we're in a trust recession right now because there's so much going on. I've heard that several times.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool journey too that you talked about, because on the outside, people see success, but they usually don't see the pivots, the lessons, the mistakes, and the things that shaped it. You've been around some really high level environments, you know, the National Geographic and Google and the White House events. And that kind of experience has to teach you a lot about seeing details that other people miss. So do you think that ability to be able to notice details helps shape the way that you look at business and profit today?
A gazillion times, yes. And for years, I would go to my coach. I had a coach 10, 12 years ago. I would fly to Toronto, Canada, and I would go there. And my wife would say, you're flying there for a day to have a meeting like all the time back and forth. I said, yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. I love Zoom. It was great. But what I got with being in a room full of amazing entrepreneurs, right? I mean, I was I kind of said I was beyond my pay scale in this room. We're talking about like bioscientist, west wing of a hospital this guy owns, and he's doing just crazy business, right? And you're in a room with those people and you start acting like them. Right? It's not maybe dressing like them the next time I go. I notice how they dress, how they maneuver, how they talk, how they take notes. Those are the things that some people miss. And those are the things you can't find on AI, right? Yeah. Those are the things that shape us as a good business person.
Yeah, I love that, man. And they say that you are like the 5 people that you're around the most. You start to morph into those people and they morph into you. So like surround yourself with people that are, you know, leveling up where you want to be able to level up, and you'll start to level up with them too. So.
And that's why I'm on this podcast with you.
Let's go. That's huge, man, because I think a lot of business owners, especially fitness business owners, especially coaches, are working hard, but they're not always looking at their business with a trained eye. They're looking at activity, but not always at opportunity. So when you talk about like hidden profits, what would you mean by that?
Yeah, right. So for a guy that lost a lot of money in business, don't do what I did, do what I say kind of guy, right? Focus on the profits. One of my latest books that I have out coming out is Focus on the Profits. My first book was called Camera Focus. So it's a little bit of shift there, right? Focus on profits, because it's really not how much money we make. It's how much money we keep, right? And people are like, oh, I did 3 million this year. I did this. Oh, how much do you keep? Sometimes it's not much for these people selling it. So the whole thing is like, let's focus on the profits, let's not focus on the revenue so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know plenty of coaches that do some crazy numbers and like literally because their expenses are all completely out of whack. They're like, sometimes they're minus. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what are some of the biggest hidden profit leaks or some missed opportunities that you see fitness entrepreneurs making all the time?
It's really simple, right? Not actually knowing your numbers, like losing money because the small things. Or how about this one? I'm going to admit this on air publicly. I pay for a gym, and I got to be honest with you, I haven't been there in a while. And like, I should be called out on that, right? Like, I'm paying for this high-end fitness program. What the heck's wrong with me? Well, there's a lot of that going on in your life, probably mine. Times up by 100. Some people doing, million, 2 million, whatever they're doing for sales. That's just going right out the door, and we're too busy to actually make the change. Yeah. Super simple, but it adds up.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like, man, I don't even know how many subscriptions that I have. I have thousands of dollars worth of subscriptions every single month that I'm like, I probably don't even use, that I bought it one time and I just never end up canceling them. But, a lot of people think the answer is always, I need more leads or I need more followers, when sometimes, the real answer is just right in their pricing, their systems, their delivery, their retention, or the way that they structure their offers, right? So
yeah, persuasion, right? I was having a coaching call just moments before I jumped on this call. And he said, Scott, I really should raise my price. His ticket is 10K, right? I think it was like 10K. Sometimes it's more. And he's like, do you think they really notice if I went up $2,000? He's dealing with corporate clients. I said, no, corporate clients don't shop on price. They don't buy because they're a confused buyer. If they're not a confused buyer and they're really focused exactly what you do, price doesn't matter. And that sentence alone will probably raise him K this year just by doing that one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And a lot of times, like even elevating your prices, sometimes you make more money because even if your closing percentage is approximately the same, there's that much more revenue in there, and people will value what you have more if you even have it priced more aggressively inside there too, and you'll have an increased retention rate. So for the coaches listening right now, what are a few areas in their business where they should immediately start looking for hidden profits?
Well, the first thing is these automatic charges, right? I mean, it sounds so simple. Okay, it's simple, but I got a little bit of a method to keep track of this. You probably don't even look at paper statements, and that's the problem. Okay. If you get these statements, you probably have 3, 4, 5 credit cards, business, home, everything. Grab them all out, have your EA, print them out, and you want printed copies. I'm not even kidding you. Call me old school, call you what you want. If you want to save thousands of dollars, just listen to what I'm telling you. Print out your banks, print out your statements, your credit card statements. And I want you to grab a yellow highlighter and a pink, maybe green. I just like yellow and pink. And you start highlighting. What do I need? What do I get rid of? And you just start highlighting the paper. And if you have to hand it off to EA to take care of it, to remove this, do whatever it takes. Because it's almost like a part-time job getting on the subscriptions. Yes. Okay. But nobody else knows what you use. You have to tell. I don't care how many team members you have. You have to tell somebody if you need it or you don't need it. Yeah. If you do that one task and you save maybe, I'm just going to guess, $2,000, right? A month.
Yeah.
That's $25K, right? In 4 years, that one thing is going to save you $100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, this is like real stuff.
Yeah. And that's stuff you're probably not even using. You know what I mean? Things that you did maybe 3 years ago and you thought it was a good idea in there too. So, and that's such an important part, because if somebody's also listening and they're making some money, but they still feel tight, they feel stressed, or they feel like constantly pushing just for that next sale, there's usually something in the profit side of the business. And in your opinion, why do so many entrepreneurs focus on that revenue part we were talking about, but ignore the profit? Because it could be maybe ego. Like people love saying, oh, I did these big sales numbers, but they don't want to talk about what they actually kept.
Yeah. No, I was one of the, I was that person. When I first started the business, I don't know why. I hear this a lot from people too. Oh, I want to be $1 million. I want to do $1 million in sales. You probably heard of it too, right? It's an arbitrary, it's just a number we throw out there, I guess. And I did it. That's what I did. So then I had $1 million. Okay. And I remember it like yesterday. I was sitting in my kitchen having a cup of coffee. I was looking out the window and I went, I feel the same.
Yeah.
Now what? So what? Right? Now what? I just remembered like, okay, now what? And it went on and we got bigger and bigger. And then it was tax season and I was growing really fast. And I realized that I was only making 12% profit margins. Like, what the hell? Was this even worth it?
Yeah.
I'm doing $1 million and making, $100,000.
Yeah.
I guess I was lucky at the time, right? Some people don't let me do that. But think about this. You're doing 12%. You're making $100,000. Oh, I'm doing good. You got $1 million at risk worth of, cash coming in, going, paying the bills, all the risk, all the time, all the effort for $100,000. What for it?
Yeah.
You're better off doing a $200,000 a year business in sales and make 80% profit margins.
Yeah.
You make more money.
Yeah. And way less stress and less overhead and less teams and all those things.
Again, I'm all for growth, growing a company, have a strategy, grow, have a team, build it out, have a structure in place. Awesome. Yeah. And that's great. But if that's your strategy, great. And I'm sure you have a better strategy than a 12% profit margins and you're watching those numbers. But if you want to run a coaching business and you want to be a what I call a lifestyle business, the ones that you see on Instagram that they're driving a van and going around the world and going to Mexico when they want to. Right? It's a lifestyle business and that's cool, but it's okay to make $250,000 a year in sales.
Yeah.
You got to make more money. You got to make more money. So
yeah, absolutely. And there's usually tiers, right? So I know for a lot of trainers, their first initial goal is like, man, I want to hit $10,000 a month. 10,000. I hear that all the time. Like 10K is like the magic. Then you hit 10K and then they're like, well, okay. Like what next? I thought I would be like driving a Lamborghini. I'm like,
no.
And then it goes to 50 and then it gets your 100 and so forth. And so it's like, think about the lifestyle that you want to be able to have and what are you doing with it? And are you putting it away and investing back in the business? Lots of stuff. But anyhow, that's real what you're talking about. And especially in the online space, because there's a lot of noise around top line revenue, but revenue can look sexy while the business underneath is a mess. What would you say are some warning signs that somebody has built a business that looks successful on the outside, but isn't actually healthy underneath with a terrible?
Yeah. Typically, if I actually end up going to actually somebody's office, little secret here, not that I'm like nosy, but I'm just doing my job. I'm taking notice. I'm self-aware of what's going on. And I go to somebody's office and they got like a pile of mail somewhere around the desk or in the office. That's a sign to me. It's not just like today's mail. Okay. That's a pile of mail that they're just too busy to go through. There's a pile of bills there, maybe checks in there. Who knows? Right. That alone, you got a messy house. You probably have a messy financial situation going.
Yeah. And I see that a lot that goes into everything. And man, no wonder I have one of my daughters is like immaculate room. The other one is tornado room. And it's just like, it goes like one of them's getting like straight A's and the other one's like carries over. But I think a lot of coaches needed to hear that because some of them are grinding like crazy just to maintain. And when your business owns you, instead of paying you well and giving you freedom, something's off. You also have a program called the Profit Accelerator. So talk to us about that. What is it? Who is it for? And what problems does it solve?
Yeah, no, this thing's awesome. So I believe in tools, right? A tool was always for me a little worksheet that my coach would give me or so forth and so on. Tool, right? This is a tool. And I share people online on a Zoom call and I share them the screen. What we do, we talk about cost cutting. We talk about lead generation. And we're like, okay, if I help you with lead generation, how much more business would you get? I go, I don't know, 10%, 20%. All right, that's cool. I'm going to put 2%. I'm going to go super conservative. And we go through 12 different things in their business, right? Cost cut and dominant marketing position yourself in that position, right? And 2%. Well, you're doing $1 million if that's what you're doing, even $200,000, 2%. And I can show them exactly the 2% mathematically as the numbers. Like I'm not just rah. I'm going to show you that small changes, I can make you $50,000 just with 2% changes in your business or more, depending on the size of your business. And I tell people, I'm like, it's kind of they think it's a hook. It's a, marketing here, hook is give me 45 minutes and I'll find 25K in your business. And I mean it. It's not a hook. It's real. Like I'll show you if you're doing over $250,000 in business and you give me 45 minutes, I can almost guarantee you I will find $25,000 hidden in profit inside your business.
Damn, let's go. Who wants 25K? Raise your hand. Give me a comment down below. I want it. And I'd love to go deeper here too, because I think many coaches assume that increasing profit means cutting everything, like becoming cheap or taken away from the client experience, but it doesn't have to. How do you help people think about profit in a way that doesn't hurt the business, but actually strengthens it?
Yeah. And a quick thing to answer your question, but you mentioned a good point about cost cutting, right? If maybe you're running a lean business, that's awesome. But everybody has a little bit of cut. And let's say you did some cost cutting measures, super surface level. And I don't know, pick a number, $1,000 or $10,000 in over a year. Well, that's $10,000 in your pocket. It didn't cost you $10,000. Right? If you made 10,000, how much does that cost to get that client? It's not all profit for that 10K coming in. Cost cutting, it's 100% profit margins. Mm-hmm. So there's a compound effect to that, okay, mathematically. So just something to be said about that. Cutting costs can actually be a bigger number than just the 10K.
Yeah. How do you help people think about profit in a way that doesn't hurt the business but strengthens it?
Yeah. So typically what I see is, right, when we start laying out the numbers, and I'm not a numbers guy. I'm far from a CPA, completely. Not. And I think this is why I'm so good at it, because I get what people are doing. That was me. I was chaos. I was wasting money. I know it. A CPA that's been doing it for all their lives, they're going to give you the tax code and this is how you're going to do it. And you are not going to connect with them. I connect. I lived it. So that's why I'm not a CPA. That's the difference with me. I get what you're trying to do, taxes and what you're trying to do and pay for what. I get it. I do. I get it. The biggest thing is when you start getting organized, you start doing it, it becomes more fun. Less anxiety.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid to look at the numbers because I don't have enough money. I can't even look at my checkbook. I know I don't have enough fun. Well, when you start focusing on something, things start appearing. Right.
Yeah. And having fun in the business is so key. Like you can't be like completely uncomfortable with that. Think about, what can make my business more fun and how can you make it more enjoyable? And sometimes just working with a type of clients that you love, it makes you bring those things out. And that's such a great distinction too, also about profit, because profit doesn't have to mean scarcity. It can actually mean clarity, and it can mean being more intentional. It could mean more efficient and building a business that's sustainable. And I also want to talk to you about your book. So what inspired you to write it? What type of ideas are meant in the context of business?
Yeah. So my book, Camera Focus, is one of my first books that I wrote, and it's my most popular book, Camera Focus, where as a photographer, you would think there's a bunch of photographs in that book. There's not one. And what it really is, it's a description of a camera and a metaphor that helps people focus on different things in their business and in their life. And for somebody that is fully aware that I'm full ADHD, and this is why I can go fast and do really good. If I slow down, I'm in trouble. Give me a lot of things to do. I'm gonna do so much better. And this is why I do this. I can pay attention, and I'm into it. I'm into the numbers. I'm into the business. I'm into it. So I can do. That's my superpower. At a time, I was camera focused. Right? If I had my camera, I can go anywhere. White House, National Geo. Give me a camera, I'll go anywhere. And so using this camera as a metaphor to explain different things in your business has a good story. And when you have a good story, people seem to pay attention. And if you have a good story, it's more memorable. And the whole book's about having lessons, being a photographer, being a National Geo, and having these, wow, that's really cool. Most people that have ADHD that never read a book before call me and say, Scott, I haven't read, I don't think I've ever read a book, full book, but I read your book for some reason. Because I get you. And it's 300 pages. We're not talking like a 10-page book here.
Yeah, I love that theme because distraction is one of the biggest killers in business right now. There's so many coaches chasing shiny objects like new funnels, new content trends, new apps, new strategies. And then they end up with motion, but not momentum. So what would you say to the fitness professional who feels busy all day, but still feels like they're not really moving forward?
Stay the course. And I tell you where that expression comes from. I was doing a photo shoot for the New England Patriots, and I was taking pictures of a couple of players, well-known players. And I said, at the time, Bill Belichick was their coach, and they were in the Super Bowl kind of era, right? And I said, hey, Tom, what's the one thing that you take away from Bill Belichick? I mean, we see him in the news and everything else. What would be the one thing? What would you say? The biggest impact? And he goes, stay the course. I said, huh? That's what I did. Stay the course. And look at Tom Brady. He stayed the course.
Yeah.
He didn't jump to team to team to team to team. No, he stayed the course. Stay the course.
Yeah. And he's from the Bay Area, from where I'm from, man. And I wish
That's
the
right.
Niners would have grabbed him.
Jeez, yeah.
And he wanted to come to the Niners too. But anyway.
Yeah, they got other players of ours. They got some other players.
Yeah. And how can someone sharpen their focus so they stop spinning the wheels and they start creating real progress? So
start saying, yeah, no, I mean, it sounds simple, right? Oh, start saying no to the things that don't matter. Easier said than done, right? And for me, when I started to look at my numbers, figure out what I was making money at and what I wasn't, because I was doing 10 different things, 30 different things in my business. I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. I said, why am I doing this? I'm not making any money at this. Because now I'm looking at my numbers, right? I'm like, so it sounds makes sense. I'm like, wow, if I just eliminate these 7 other things and I go all in on these 1 or 2 things, I could do pretty good. And for a photographer, that's really difficult because they don't want to lose anything. They want to do the weddings. They want to do the senior portraits, the bar mitzvahs, the parties. You need a photographer. I'm it. Call me. You need your grass cut, you snow plowed. Call me. I'll do everything, anything. And that's the problem. When I had my photography business for almost 3 decades, Scott, why are we so good? How'd you get that big? Well, honestly, I just did one thing. I stayed with corporate events, that little niche, that sort of high profile accounts, and nothing else, and said no to everything else. That's it. And the interesting thing, I did it for 25 years and said no to everything else.
I like that because you got to say no. You got to keep that focus. And let's make it practical for a minute. So if somebody listening wanted to improve their focus and their profitability starting this week, what are 3 things that they should look at first?
Yeah, 3. So make sure we get the question good, right, for everybody, including myself, right? So how do you stay focused and how do you stay profitable? Like,
let's just say profitable to keep it simple. Yeah.
Keep it profitable, right? You need focus. That actually is number 1, right? Honestly, actually making the time to sit down and put some things in order on your desk, right? The bills, the spreadsheet, the whatever that is, especially right now as we're recording this, we're less than a month away from tax season. Did you do your taxes? Are they in a pile? Do you got the little notebook or the little envelope? Do you got the shoebox? What do you got going on here? If it's a shoebox, great. Some people don't have that. Don't, it's not a negative. Just gather everything up. Right? First thing, gather things up. Super important, especially right now, what's going on. Second thing is write it down on paper. I myself have I have the same problem because we got so many little expenses. Literally start writing it down. You could do the spreadsheet. I do that. Start tracking things does this happen to you? You get your phone goes off, you get a little charge on a credit card, and my Apple phone goes off, right? Apple, $39, $49, and it goes off. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll get to it later. I started putting a tab in my computer that I can go to when that happens. And I start adding in 39, 49, 59. And I put it in there. If I don't write it down, I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
Like create a system for the things that you don't need, because the day goes by, and I guarantee you the day goes by and like, you see a charge and on your phone or maybe somewhere and you're like, oh, I got to cancel that. Just stop what you're doing, write it down somewhere in the same spot, right? How many times does that happen to you?
Yeah, it happens all the time. And I actually started getting Instagram posts on like an app that actually tracks all your subscriptions. So you can go in there, you can cancel. It's called Rocket Bunny or something.
Yeah, right. I know of it. What is that called? Rocket Money. I think it's
Rocket Money. I said Rocket Bunny. Rocket Money.
Money, right? Well, it's Easter coming up. It's that sort of season. Come on.
Yeah. And that's a strong point to start doing that, man. And I want to ask you this now. When you were building your own business, was there a lesson around profit or focus that you had to learn the hard way? And what happened and what did it teach you?
Yeah, I got audited by the IRS.
Oof, that'll get you.
Yeah, that's you learn really quick of getting things in order.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's not funny. Looking back on the story, at the time, my mom was around and she goes, oh, Scott, what happened? Mom, oh, Mom, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. But this one time I turned to her and I said, I never really went to college, Harvard University, big Yale, big schools, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what I do, Mom? I said, I have this fictitious fund up here, right? So every time I screw up because I didn't do something right, I just take it from my college fund that I never put money into. What? I'm still ahead. It's all going to be fine. It was a little bit of education. I had to take it out of my college fund that I never went to. And I'm okay with that because that happens. It's education. Okay, I was growing fast. Things happen. I admit it. Okay, I need a better team. I did that. I fixed it. But it was education. It was a learning experience, right? I just took money from that college fund that I never went to college for.
And those are sometimes the best lessons, even if they don't feel fun in the moment. So what do you think separates business owners who stay stuck in survival mode from the ones who eventually just build real wealth and then true freedom to be able to scale?
I guarantee you, they don't trust anybody. They got to do everything themselves.
Yeah.
And they don't give people that freedom to run a business, have a system process set up, and you take care of that. No, you got to be involved in everything. And that's cool. And that's fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but when you give a team member something to do and they own it and you do your thing and they do their thing, business can kind of grow a lot faster that way because you can't do it by yourself. You can't, if you want to grow, you can't do it by yourself. And I always use this line. It's not how we do it, but who.
Yeah. you can always find somebody that does it better than you. And you are going to be your biggest bottleneck in your business. If you try to do everything yourself, you're going to get capped out with your time, with your stress levels, everything else. And you can't be the best at everything all at once. You can't.
No, I'm terrible at a lot of things, actually. But I know who my who's are. If I'm not good at it, I'm like, well, I'm not good at this. Well, let's find a who to do it, because otherwise it's really not going to get done really good. So I got a lot of who's in my life.
Yeah, I agree. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't need more noise. They need more discipline. They need more awareness and more intention around what actually moves the business forward and can actually outsource the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And I also think this matters a lot for fitness coaches, because many of them got into business to create freedom and help people make a bigger impact. But a lot of them end up undercharging, overworking, and building themselves into a corner. For that coach that's listening right now, what's one mindset shift that they need to make if they want to build like a healthier, more profitable business?
Yeah, this is going to seem like I'm not answering it correctly, because I'm going to give the people homework. But there's a book out called The E-Myth. Okay, The E-Myth. It's the myth about an entrepreneur, short for E-Myth. And basically the plot of the story is this, and this person she was really great at making muffins, blueberry muffins. And this is in the story. And everybody said, oh, you should open up a bakery. You're so good at making the blueberry muffins. And she says, really? You think so? Do you really think I should do that? And so she did. She opened up a bakery. She was making the blueberry muffins and she was growing it. It was going really good. But then one day she noticed that she was no longer making the blueberry muffins, because she had to take care of the books, the marketing, the hiring, the sales, the negotiation, all the stuff, right? All the stuff. And she had to hire people to actually make the blueberry muffins. She was no longer making the blueberry muffins. But the lesson here in the story is, like, if you're a fitness coach and you love working out, you love being training and doing that, you might find out that you're no longer doing that, because now you're a business owner. I myself, I haven't taken photographs in a decade. I was running a business. I wasn't taking photographs. People will want to hire me as a photography business coach. And they're like, I didn't see any of your work out in National Geo and this and that. I'm like, listen, if you saw my work in National Geographic, even if it was an awesome, amazing product, you don't want to hire me, because I'm good at running a business and helping you run the business. And you're good at taking photographs. So I'm not saying you have to not be good at fitness, but you just have to be aware that sometimes be careful what you wish for and position yourself that make sure this doesn't happen and get the who's, because this is what happens. And then you find out you're no longer working out, right?
Yeah, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And before we wrap up, Scott, I want to jump into a quick, what's called a rapid fire round that I do. So just quick little answers. First thing comes to mind. What's one business habit that has made the biggest difference in your success?
Answering the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, nobody answers the phone anymore. Answer the phone.
Yeah. What's one mistake entrepreneurs make that actually costs them more money than they realize?
Actually, for me, seriously, my coffee habits. I added up today how much money I spend in coffee, going to the coffee shop every morning. It's more than everybody would ever imagine. Just saying. It's the little things.
Yeah. The little thing. And how we were talking about the little subscriptions and those things too. What's one number that every business owner should know every single month?
Expenses for me in my world, but profit, I say profit, right? What is profit, right? How much is coming in? How much is going out? More importantly, how much is going out? Then how much is coming in?
Yeah. Good. And what's one thing people should stop doing if they want a more profitable business?
Oh gosh, right? If they want a more, stop doing this one thing, stop worrying, stay focused. Because if you're worrying, that's taking that much brain power out of you of actually meeting your goal. Like, it has to be an absolute, this is what's going to happen. If you start worrying down that road, you're just taking good brain cells and you're not
your energy.
You're not going down the right way. You're just wasting energy. I'm guilty of it. I have to stop myself sometimes myself, but don't waste good energy.
Okay, good. Last two questions. What's one thing people should start doing immediately if they want to uncover their hidden profits?
Check your mail. If you're still getting mail, like paper mail or the emails, I'm not checking my bank statement. I get email from my credit card company that I don't get it mailed anymore. I don't look at them because they're all online. I'm not looking at my credit card statements. My biggest problem.
Or even just go to your online banking. But last one. Finally, what does real success mean to you today?
Time. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time. And I don't want to say I wasted a lot of time, but I was busy on the road for a long time. And I kind of embracing working from home.
Yeah.
I take my dog for a walk every day at 3:30. He lets me know. I enjoy my mile walk in the middle of the afternoon. And I was doing that today going, wow, imagine if I worked in like an office building all day. Like I just should go for a mile walk in the middle of the day with my dog. How awesome is that?
I love that, man. I mean, I do that now with my dog. My dog's back here sleeping.
Yeah, right. Same here.
But having an online fitness business has been one of the biggest game changers for me because you have the time freedom now where you can make your own schedule. You can take a dog for a walk in the middle of the day. You have the location flexibility. You can go to a coffee shop if you want to just jam out. And financially, you can scale the business. You're not limited to trading your time for money like it was with in person. And Scott, this has been such a valuable conversation, man. And for everybody listening, one of the biggest takeaways here is that more revenue does not automatically mean a better business. Sometimes the fastest path forward is not adding more chaos. It's getting sharper. It's finding the leaks. It's cleaning things up and focusing on the profit opportunities that are already sitting into your business. Scott, where can people find you, connect with you, learn more about your work, and check out the Profit Accelerator and your book, Camera Focus?
Super easy. Business Focus Method. BusinessFocusMethod.com.
I love it. And guys, if you got value from this episode, make sure you share it, you tag me, you tag Scott, and then send this to another coach, another trainer who needs to hear this, especially the one that's working hard, staying busy, but still not keeping enough of what they earn. And as always, keep building, keep learning, and keep moving forward the business and life that you really want. I'll see you on the next episode of the Online FitBiz Accelerator Podcast. Thanks for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a tip or strategy to grow your online fitness business. And if you're ready to fast track your success, don't forget to check out TNTFitProCoaching.com. Until next time, stay consistent, stay focused, and keep crushing it.